If you want to be better than 99% of people on the planet, you have to do what 99% of people won't. At first, that might sound like one of those cheesy motivational quotes you'd find on your aunt's Instagram, right next to a picture of butterflies. But statistically speaking, that statement is completely true. The path to being among the top 1% isn't about being a genius, a millionaire, or a social media success story. It's about doing the few simple, consistent things most people are too distracted, lazy, or emotionally unstable to do. Contrary to what self-help gurus might tell you, being better than 99% of the world doesn't require a secret formula or a life coach charging $10,000 an hour. It just requires understanding how your mind works, how your emotions, your brain, and your environment shape who you are. Once you learn to manage those factors, your evolution becomes inevitable. But it's crucial that you fall in love with the process, not just the result. Many people quit because they chase outcomes instead of systems. They want the body of an athlete after 3 gym sessions, the mind of a scholar after a week of study, or the peace of a monk after meditating twice. When the result doesn't show up fast, they give up. The secret is shifting your focus. Stop obsessing over the finish line and start mastering the routine that leads you there. If you love the process, the results will follow. Let's break this down into 9 steps based on psychology, neuroscience, and behavioral science that will, without exaggeration, put you ahead of most people alive. Step 1. Emotional control. The most successful person in the room isn't necessarily the smartest. It's the one who can stay calm when everything goes wrong. Stress is one of the biggest silent killers of performance, happiness, and mental health. Chronic stress destroys focus, damages memory, and increases the risk of anxiety and depression. To manage stress, you need awareness. Start by identifying what consistently drains your energy or triggers negative emotions. Maybe it's a toxic friend, constant social media use, or even your own perfectionism. You can't eliminate all stress, but you can eliminate unnecessary stress. Emotional intelligence doesn't mean suppressing feelings. It means understanding and directing them. Read about it, practice mindfulness, or simply journal how you feel each day. People who can regulate emotions aren't cold, they're powerful. They can act based on reason, not reaction. Step 2. Change your environment, not your willpower. Willpower is overrated. Neuroscience shows that the brain's ability to resist temptation is finite. It runs out like a battery. That's why people who rely only on discipline to quit smoking, drinking, or scrolling endlessly almost always fail. If you want to change your habits, stop fighting the old environment. Change it. Don't keep cookies in your kitchen if you're dieting. Don't hang around heavy drinkers if you're trying to stay sober. Don't sleep with your phone next to your bed if you want better mornings. Your environment is stronger than your intentions. The people around you shape your behavior more than your beliefs do. So surround yourself with people and settings that naturally pull you toward the person you want to become. Step 3. Balance rational and emotional thinking. Inside your brain, two systems constantly negotiate. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for logic and planning, and the limbic system, which governs emotion and instinct. They work like a seesaw. Too much emotion leads to chaos. Too much logic leads to paralysis. Emotions aren't your enemy. They're essential for decision making. Without emotional feedback, we wouldn't learn from mistakes or feel motivated to change. But when emotions dominate, impulsivity takes over and rational thinking disappears. To strengthen the balance, keep a daily emotion journal. At the end of each day, write what you felt and why. Over time, patterns will emerge. You'll start noticing what consistently triggers you, what lifts you up, and what drains your energy. That awareness is emotional intelligence in action. Step 4. Understand behavioral consequences. Your brain is plastic, meaning it constantly changes according to your experiences. Every time you perform a behavior, neurons in your brain strengthen the pathways related to it. The more often you repeat something, the easier it becomes to repeat again. That's why bad habits feel automatic and why breaking them feels impossible. The key is to understand that behavior is shaped by consequences. If a behavior leads to a reward, your brain marks it as valuable. If it leads to pain, your brain avoids it. Touch an electric socket and get shocked. You'll never touch it again. Eat junk food and feel guilty, but comforted. Your brain will still crave it next time you're stressed. So, design your environment to reward the behaviors you want and punish the ones you don't. Celebrate small wins, make good choices pleasant, and make destructive ones inconvenient. Your brain will adapt. Step 5. Guard your environment like your life depends on it. Humans didn't evolve to be inherently good or evil. We evolved to adapt. Our behavior mirrors our surroundings. If you're constantly surrounded by negativity, gossip, or mediocrity, you'll start reflecting that energy. That's why it's essential to be intentional about where and with whom you spend time. You become the average of the 5 people you interact with most. If those 5 people are unmotivated, cynical, or self-destructive, that becomes your baseline. And when you start to internalize that negativity, you might even think you're a bad person. But often, you're just in the wrong environment. The solution isn't changing your essence, it's changing your surroundings. Choose to spend time in spaces that bring out your best qualities, not your worst impulses. Step 6. Sleep like your success depends on it, because it does. Sleep isn't a luxury, it's maintenance. When you sleep poorly, your brain becomes chemically dirty. Waste products accumulate, focus decreases, and impulse control weakens. Studies show that even mild sleep deprivation can make you less creative, more emotional, and more prone to mistakes. A good night's sleep, 7 to 9 hours for most adults, isn't wasted time. It's the foundation of productivity. While you sleep, your brain consolidates memories, restores neurotransmitters, and literally cleans itself. To sleep better, establish a sleep routine. Dim the lights an hour before bed, avoid screens, and go to bed at the same time every night. Don't let hustle culture fool you. Sleeping less doesn't make you productive. It makes you stupid and unbalanced. Step 7. Move your body. Exercise isn't just for your muscles, it's for your mind. Physical activity releases endorphins, serotonin, and dopamine, which directly affect your mood and mental clarity. Exercise enhances emotional control, reduces anxiety, and improves confidence. You don't need to become a marathon runner. A 30-minute walk, a short gym session, or even stretching counts. What matters is consistency. Neuroscience confirms that people who move regularly regulate stress better and think more clearly. So, if you want to outthink, outwork, and outlast others, move. Motion creates emotion, and a strong body builds a strong mind. Step 8. Redefine happiness. Money matters, but not forever. Money is important, let's be honest. It solves a lot of problems and provides freedom. But beyond a certain point, the relationship between income and happiness weakens. Once your basic needs and a comfortable lifestyle are covered, more money adds surprisingly little joy. Research shows that the greatest predictor of long-term happiness isn't wealth, fame, or success. It's good relationships. People with strong social connections live longer, get sick less, and report higher life satisfaction. Quality matters more than quantity. One loyal friend is worth more than 1,000 followers. So invest time in people who genuinely care about you. Check in, listen, and be present. When life falls apart, and it will eventually, it's relationships that hold you together, not your bank balance. Step 9. Balance dopamine and serotonin. Your brain operates on two essential chemicals: dopamine, which fuels motivation, and serotonin, which fuels contentment. Dopamine pushes you to chase goals. Serotonin lets you enjoy what you've achieved. Too much dopamine without serotonin leads to endless chasing and burnout. Too much serotonin without dopamine leads to complacency. The trick is to cultivate both. During the day, be driven, set goals, take risks, pursue challenges. But at night, slow down, reflect, be genuinely grateful for what you already have. Gratitude isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It's about recognizing the small victories and appreciating how far you've come. You can still want more while being thankful for what is. That balance is mental wealth. The simple truth: there's no miracle hack to outperform 99% of people. There's no secret mindset, no exotic supplement, no billionaire morning routine that magically transforms you. There's only awareness and consistent action. The people who rise above the crowd aren't necessarily those with perfect genetics, connections, or luck. They're the ones who manage emotions instead of being ruled by them, design environments that help rather than hinder, balance logic and emotion in decision-making, understand that behavior follows consequences, surround themselves with uplifting people, prioritize sleep and physical health, maintain strong relationships, stay hungry for growth, yet grateful for progress. Notice something. None of these require money, fame, or superhuman talent. They just require intention and patience. The truth is, most people are miserable not because life is cruel, but because they chase meaningless things. They want symbols of success, not substance. They want validation, not fulfillment. They confuse stimulation for satisfaction. Being better than 99% of people doesn't mean having a Ferrari, a mansion, or millions in the bank. It means having the mental clarity, emotional balance, and physical stability to perform at your best every single day. It means being grounded enough to focus, disciplined enough to persist, and wise enough to find meaning in simplicity. So, if you really want to rise above the rest, stop chasing everything at once. Sleep well, move daily, choose your friends carefully, write about your emotions, be curious, learn constantly, and most of all, be grateful. Gratitude turns ordinary days into blessings and simple actions into joy. In the end, being better than 99% of people isn't about conquering the world. It's about mastering yourself. When you do that, the rest follows naturally.